Good. Nope. Dang. Whew. I almost just got stung in my ear, so hold on just a second. We've actually been out at the bees today, and she is trying to come at my ear. She just came from my nostril. So I am going to get my veil and jacket back on, and then we will talk about this. I'm only doing it now while we're on live because I actually thought that we had had enough time for them to relax a little bit, and it turns out they are still ticked off at me. So sorry about this whole getting dressed a little bit while we talk, but if you will bear with me, I'll get covered up and we'll get to talking. I got to put my phone down. I'm gonna do it like this so that you can watch the entrance of the hive. How neat is that? I'm just zipping up my jacket right now. Okay, there we are. Now, just wanted to let everybody know we are out here at the bees today. We have finished the work that we are doing in each of our hives, each of the colonies here. We still have the 12. We've actually added a probiotic to assist our bees with their digestion. We've also got the food. You can see Ricky way down there actually getting some recording of the feeders going on right now. We got some food down there that's got the essential oils and everything in there that's going to help them out with their immune systems and fighting off the pests and pesticides that we have to deal with literally all the time. So we did that today. This is all just more of our winter preparation. Each one of these hives actually looks really great, and we are excited about how good they actually look and how much weight most of them have. We're good with the weight that all of them have. We're happy about the weight that all of them have. Some just are doing better than others. For instance, this one right here, this is some of that probiotic I was talking about. That's actually, most of it's inside the hive. Some of it, of course, apparently sprinkled out on the top. This one here, second one in from the end on the front row, and then also the second one in from the end on the back row. Those two hives are actually weaker, smaller than the rest of the colonies. In fact, this top super here is actually just a feeder. Well, I mean, it's not a feeder, it's housing, encasing two feeders. We got two quart jars in there that have some sugar syrup that we're applying directly to. Now, the cool thing is we're applying it directly to the colonies. The cool thing is the feeders were already in there, and then when we opened up today, sorry about that super was off, but when we opened up today, they were both empty, so we were able to refill them and continue to feed. So very excited about that. You can see that it's a really nice day today. They're very active, and that is super exciting. The real reason why is that first hive so active, to be perfectly honest with you, and hey Angie, the reason this first hive over here is as active as it is because literally it is the strongest, most populated hive on either row. And that's saying something, because all of them, even though they don't look like they're nearly as active, 10 of them, at least I should say, are really close to this one. So it's just barely crossed over that more populous than the others. But look here, up in this front one, you can see a lot of activity there as well. Not as much, certainly, but you still see a lot of activity. So there's a lot of coming and going right now. If we get closer, they've already tried to sting me in my nostril and my forehead, my bald spot, but we'll get up here and get close.
It's a huge bald spot.
Ricky said it's a huge bald spot. Thanks so much. But I was hoping to see some pollen. It doesn't look like we're seeing any pollen coming in right now, but we are also getting to the end of the goldenrod, so probably aren't going to see a ton of pollen coming in. Anyway, but they are coming and going. Nectar, most of them we believe, and we'll go down there before I stop the live feed. We'll go down there and take a look at the feeders. You can see just how many of the bees are on those feeders.
Oh my God, there is so much.
There's a lot.
Right
See?
now. Yeah.
So there's a lot of activity out there with all the hives so close to ever cross into the other hives. Yes and no, not so much that it might be a concern. We really don't tend to deal with a whole lot of drift, which is what it's referred to when the bees go into the colony next to them. They actually are equipped with the necessities for being able to determine which hive is in fact their own. You can also see where we do the blocks here. So we've got an entrance here, you got this gap, but then this one is blocked off more on this side than the entrances on the opposite side. So the entrances from each other are actually blocked off to keep it, hey honey, but the entrances are separated from each other. So honey, by the way, is my wife, not any of the rest of you. So just want to make sure we're clear about that. Don't get your hopes up. Yeah. But so anyway, no, Angie, we do not have to worry about drift that much. And if we do, it's just the occasional bee. And that's kind of what we would like to refer to as a self-correcting. Whew, we're going to back up a little bit. She came right at my finger. It's a self-correcting problem. She gets in there and the other bees kind of block her. I think I was too far away, but I did just see pollen go into this colony right here. So there is still some pollen coming in. All right, so I don't know how long I've been talking. And I don't know if I can determine that looking at this. But so real quick, I want to go ahead and tell you the reason I did a Facebook Live today is oh, there's some pollen right there. Yeah, right there at my fingertip. Don't you sting me. I don't know if you caught her or not, but there was some light, kind of an off-white pollen. So not goldenrod, but they are at least getting getting pollen from a source somewhere. Anyway, we came out today, we did the probiotics, we did the treatments, we did the inspection, that sort of thing. But the other reason we came out here was actually to be able to sit down with my dad and do some recording and just kind of sit down and let him tell his story a little bit with some questions for me. Actually, Ricky jumped in with a couple of questions as well, which was super helpful. But he just got to tell his story of 40 years of beekeeping, and we wanted to be able to share that with you guys. So we got that recording done today. We're going to do some editing on it and try to make sure that we're satisfied with it. To be perfectly honest with you, we want to make sure that I didn't use any bad words. And then we'll actually be able to get that video posted. I'm hoping we'll be able to get it posted next week, but to be perfectly honest with you, I've never actually edited a video before, so I get to learn that process and hopefully get that posted to you. But that's actually super exciting. If that is successful, and you know, a lot of you watch it, like it, share it, and all that kind of stuff, that will then encourage me to seek out some other folks that I can interview about their experiences as well as beekeepers. You know, so I know quite a few folks that are into beekeeping. They've either been doing it for years, such as my dad and I, or they've actually just recently got started. Ricky, you got bees on your stand too. That's funny. They not a big fan of dark colors. I don't know that that's actually radiating any heat. They may just have looked for a place to land. But anyway, so I'm actually really super excited about that. And I think it was a great conversation. I think we all really enjoyed ourselves. There's a lot of laughing. There's a lot, you know, not much cutting up, but there's a lot of laughing. And I think some good information. And some history. I mean, 40 years is a really long time. I've been at it for, honestly, we don't know. I've been at it for a very long time. Real quick, just want to point out, we spilled some of our syrup on the top here. and you can see that we've got yellow jackets coming in. Now right now they're just on top of the hive, and the bees aren't going to care at all about that. If they start to try to go inside, the bees will in fact act to defend the hive. But that's kind of a cautionary tale. You always try to do your syrup off to the side. You never want to do it at the colony, and today we got into a rush and decided to go ahead and do that, and then of course we got syrup all over the place, and now we're bringing in the pests. As long as they stay out there, it'll be fine. So let's walk down here to the food and let's see what's going on. This is a pollen supplement feeder that we have over here. It doesn't actually look like it's getting used. I don't see any bees flying around it, so we're probably going to have to go back to the drawing board here, but it was an idea that was found in some of our research, and so we took a look at that, and I'm gonna call that we'll call it a success in that we learned that it's not successful. That's how you do it. And so here we go with our feeders. You may be able to already see flyers on all three. We'll start over here on this one at our right. We'll just take a look at it. It's still got quite a bit of syrup. Now I can get a lot closer to these bees because they are actually foragers. They're not interested. They don't have a defense mechanism in their head. Now if I actually did some, like if I smashed one of them, if I did some damage to it, if I trapped it in my hand or anything like that, yeah, I'm gonna get stung, because that's a stupid way to treat a stinging insect. But if I just leave them alone and let them do their thing, I'm gonna get bumped. But that's really just because they bumped into me. They weren't really trying to have anything to do with me. I got in their way while they were flying. I don't know if you can tell or not, but the syrup line is right about here inside that bucket. We got holes drilled, and you can probably tell where the holes are. And they're getting down into that bucket and getting the food that way from there. We set it up this way because this tends to help prevent them from drowning. Let's go all the way around the bucket though. Look at that. And so these bees are taking that syrup with all those nutrients involved inside. Oh man, you think this one's crazy. Wait till we get to the next one and you see all those bees. They're getting all those nutrients and they're taking that back to the hive. They are treating this just like nectar from a flower, okay? Now, you see all those bees, right? That's pretty impressive. Until, dun dun dun. Look at that. They are all over that. Very encouraging for us because of course we put, and you see some yellow jackets in there and some bumblebees, and they're not really messing with each other too much because they're all just trying to get what food they can to take it back to their own homes. And we don't tend to care. There's no stopping the yellow jackets from coming in over here unless we found that nest. And I mean, there are a lot of yellow jackets, but anyway, whatever. They're going to do their thing. The bees are going to do their thing. But that is a lot of bees. They're taking all that nectar, all that syrup back to their hives, and that's just going to help strengthen their immune system, strengthen their digestive system, and get them really strong going into winter. With that queen bee being really strong and very healthy and vibrant when the time comes for her to start laying. Angie, no, they don't really. I mean, yeah, you can see that they're kind of competitive, but they're not going to sting each other or do the bites or anything like that. They're just going to try to force their way in, muscle their way in to get to that food. And when the bees in front of them take off, they'll drop. And you see them. I mean, they're kind of pushing each other off because they're dropping down and all that kind of crazy stuff. But no, they're not. They're not really going to fight per se. Also, I just got totally distracted. I have no idea what I was saying before.
Before you get back on, I did find on that one hive you was looking at, there was white and yellow pollen.
Okay, so awesome. So we have white and yellow pollen, and I mean the goldenrod's not gone. So they are still bringing that in. Sounds like a hard. You poor thing. Look at that. How neat is that? And I mean, I'm not zooming in. My hand is, you know, we're right here on it. There's no threat. They're not, the defensive nature is, for all intents and purposes, turned off. Well, you know, I just told you they're not going to fight, and damn if you don't see that. Look at that.
Like the killed together.
Yeah. So interspecies, they probably won't, you know, bees won't necessarily fight bees, but bees may get a little pissed off at the yellow jackets or the bumblebees. Bumblebees tend to kind of get ignored by pretty much everybody. But the yellow jackets are pretty aggressive. The yellow jackets will get in there and be very competitive with the bees. And so, yeah, there actually may be some fights. Now that I say they won't, I need to correct that and say they won't fight honeybees. But if something else is coming in there and getting aggressive and kind of being a horse's behind.
Like these wasps over here?
Yeah, like the wasp over there. You see it? Oh, yeah, there she is. Or he, whatever, it. Yeah, so.
Don't look like he's got much life in him, though.
He gets too close to those bees, he probably won't.
No, they hit him. Look at him. He just barely does move.
Yeah. Well, here, let's go over there and look at that.
There's a bumblebee right there, too.
Yeah. Wasps are predators, they're meat eaters. So, yeah, the bees may get extremely defensive around, towards them. Yellow jackets are a type of wasp. So, yeah, there we go. Now, that being said, they also may decide that we are a target because they are, in fact, meat eaters. And I'm in my 40s, so I'm kind of meaty now.
No, you're just kind of fat now.
The queen, Karen, no, the queen is not around over here. She will remain in the hive, except for very extenuating circumstances. She will fly out for her virgin flight and mate one time in her life, and then she might fly out in order to lead a swarm, but that will only happen in the spring. Otherwise, she is very well inside the hive, very well protected by the other bees. I just came over to this one just because I didn't want it to feel left out. But you can see that they are certainly taking all of the nutrition that we are providing for them. And that, for us, that is just, and for you, because of course you love watching these videos, you love, you seem to enjoy, you keep coming back to them at least. So you either really enjoy them or you are all gluttons for punishment and should probably, seek counseling or something. But because you keep coming back, it tells me that you actually really do enjoy these videos. So the fact that they're taking these nutrients, they're taking them back to the hives, they're actually getting themselves strong, staying strong, is very encouraging, should be very encouraging for you, because that means that I get to continue to do these videos.
Now I want to ask a question about
Sure.
these feeders.
Okay.
I've noticed that y'all got the buckets turned upside down and they're going inside the little holes.
Yes.
Now, do you all like drill holes from
Yes.
the inside into
From the
that
inside
to
out.
Keep to a certain level there?
Exactly, yeah.
Just kind of like the old chicken feeders?
Pretty much.
Same
That's
kind of
exactly right.
concept?
Yep, that's exactly right. And you can see that it's not like we do every single one of them.
I was also going to ask about that.
Yeah. And the holes are going to be very small as well, so that a lot of that surface tension will hold that back. But yeah, we only do so many of them, and then that's where they go to feed.
Now, this is just a sugar water, right?
This is the sugar water with the natural oils and everything like that. Give your girls hugs for me.
Yeah.
You talking about my wife and daughter, right? Because I ain't hugging these girls. That's crazy talk right there now. How fast do they start to feed from those buckets after you set them in? Okay, so that's actually a really good question, Angie. And it can take an hour or so, 30 minutes. Honestly, it depends on how many foragers they have out. We've talked about it in previous videos before. I don't know if you remember it or not. but they will literally land on anything to test it for a food source, whether nectar or pollen or whatever the case is. Man, they just went right back to boiling over again. They had the population had lightened up a little bit, but they are just right back at it. That is so cool to watch. I know you don't wish it, but I wish y'all could be here for this and just see how calm this cloud is. Ricky's not a beekeeper, by the way. Ricky, how many times we've known each other for over 30 years now. How many times have you been out to the hives with us?
This is my first.
This is his first time in over 30 years that we've been friends that he's come out to the hive with us. I have a yellow jacket on my index finger.
And look, give me a shot in here because you can see I'm not even wearing protective clothes.
Well, hold on. Here's that yellow jacket. You see? Now, I'm calm because I don't tend to be a guy that overreacts to things. But to be perfectly honest with you, I may pee myself a little bit. I'm not excited about a yellow jacket being on me. There it goes. That's how dangerous it is out here. And see, now there's Ricky's hand right there next to it. Again, they're very calm. You also see that we're not out here kicking the buckets. We're not out here, rattling things around. We're not messing with them. We are letting them do their thing, and they are allowing us to do ours.
And I have no protective gear on whatsoever.
Yeah, I did because when I was over at the hives, when I was over at the hives, she came up at my nostril. I don't know about y'all, but I have been...
There's one that's found a fascination with my ear.
Yeah, she tried to get me in my nostril. I have been stung there before. We are not walking down that road again. Angie, to be perfectly honest with you, I hear you when you say you're not calm for me, but to be perfectly honest with you, you're one of the sole reasons why I do exactly what I'm doing this very second by being so close to them. I want you to see, and I'm not saying you need to come out here and be by the bees. That's fine. Get your bee experiences vicariously through me. That's perfectly okay. If you cannot be calm around bees, stay your butt away. That simple as that. If you cannot be calm around bees, you are going to get stung.
Like your dad told you. If you're going to flinch like that, you're doing me no good.
That's right. Yeah, you'll hear that in the interview. Actually, we talked about that when I was younger. My dad kicked me off the bees. He said, if you can't if you can't stop flinching, go on back to the house. And so off to the house I went. By the way, on the way back to the house, I got stung twice in the same spot on the back of my head, which is actually where the bald spot started. Anyway, so there it is. There's not too much. There's a lot going on here. There's not too much more to say about it over here. But they're just so. There's a lot of activity, but individually they are each just so calm. We're not in their way, and if we are, they just fly right on around us, and they just keep doing their thing. Yeah, Angie, I hear you. You can't be calm around anything flying.
Because of you and your style, because we keep all those cans when we drink all the soda pops,
Yeah.
and we just throw them out in the driveway. I used to go out there with flamethrowers, literally destroying everything that flew around them because I couldn't distinguish the difference between a honeybee.
The yellow jacket and the
and
honeybee.
yellow
That's
jacket.
right.
So, but in the last, 5-10 years, since I've been around you and we've talked about it more and more often, I've got to where this doesn't bother me like it used to.
Correct.
But used to be 10 years ago, me doing this, I'd be pissing all over myself.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, and it's just, honestly, it's just, you just make a decision. You're gonna be calm, or you're not, and that's really just life.
And look, my hand's over here in the swarm, and they're not bothering me. I'm not bothering them, but they're just swarming around me.
Yeah. Ignoring us completely, except when they're tired. Look at her.
I'd be lying if I say I'm not just a touch nervous.
Right.
But then again, it's kind of like a motorcycle. Anytime you ever get on one, you're not, get off of it.
Get off of it. That's exactly right. Yeah, you always want to be cautious. How is that for a close-up shot for you guys?
Just move slow.
What is that? Looks like Mortal Kombat. That first one.
Finish him.
The first one was a yellow jacket. It was on my finger, And then the second one was a honeybee that landed on the back of my hand. And both of them, when they landed, they just cleaned themselves. That's it.
They're fucking something up right here.
Yep. Facebook Live.
Yeah, sorry. They're messing something up right here. They're really giving it heck. It looks like there's a couple of honeybees there. Oh, no, I thought it was the honeybee they was killing, but no, they wasn't. They was just working around me.
Yeah, her.
Her, yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Not the honeybee, the bumblebee.
Oh, yeah, and them, I don't know their genders. People ask me about insects all the time. Clarification, I raise honeybees. I know a little bit about other insects just because of, similarities they share with honeybees, or necessity of learning about that particular insect because of their proximity to... You just got a way to go because of your mouth. Thank you, Karen. Enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching the video. I'll repost it from YouTube, by the way, and I would love for you guys to share this. That being said, oh gosh, man.
It'll be on both of our channels.
I am so old. All right, we're gonna head back over to the... I'm gonna head back over to the hives now. If you're coming, come on too. Okay, so that being said, in our brief little walk over here, let me go ahead and say this. Honestly, I've had Ricky, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you today at the bees. So I'm glad that you've enjoyed yourself too.
Oh, a lot, man. This is great.
It's a whole new dynamic for conversation, as opposed to just reading off comments and questions from what you guys are sending me online. To have somebody here to be able to actually directly relate with while we talk about honeybees has been a new experience for me. And so it's been a lot of fun. I hope that you have enjoyed this. I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Buzzin' Blossoms Bee Farm. You can find it that way. I will also reshare this video on Facebook after I post it to YouTube. I'll reshare it to Facebook, and I would love for you to share that. Talk to your friends about what we got going on here. We are trying to keep it interesting. We want you to be involved. I would love for you guys to send me questions. Actually, you can send questions to me at huntsuckerbees@gmail.com is the email address associated with my YouTube page. You can send your questions to me via email. Those of you who know me personally, if you've got my cell phone number, send me text messages, Facebook IMs, whatever the case is, however you can get your questions to me. If it's something you want to know about honeybees, I want to talk about it. So send me your questions. I mean, heck, if nothing else, I'm always just looking for ideas for the next video. Ricky asked me before this one, he said, so what is your plan for this video? I said, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to turn my camera on. I'm going to point it at the bees, and I'm going to talk until I run out of things to say, which is working. You guys seem to be enjoying it, and that's cool. But that being said, if I had some... Ricky, that's a really nice frame. Here, how's this? I'm going to record the recording of the bees.
Yeah, I like the way the lights come in on the trees.
Yeah, that looks really neat. So we're just getting some footage so that we can maybe use these in future videos. This Facebook Live obviously is just going to be as is, uncut and unedited. But
Oh, baby.
I want to know what your thoughts are. And so please feel free. Again, huntsuckerbees@gmail.com. Send me those emails. Send me texts, send me IMs, whatever the case is. Get involved with me and let me kind of direct these videos so that you are getting the most out of them, because it really is. I mean, I enjoy doing this, but I don't have to do this. So it really is about our engagement with each other. So please, please, please send that to me. Share away. If you haven't already, subscribe away at my page on Buzzin' Blossoms Bee Farm on YouTube. And then let's just keep talking. Thanks, guys. Y'all enjoy.